India has delivered a strong message at the United Nations Security Council. Membership of the powerful 15-nation body must never be used to legitimize terrorists or advance narrow political gains. Speaking at an open debate on the Council's working methods, India called for greater transparency and objectivity in the listing and delisting of terrorists. And while New Delhi did not name any country, the message comes against a backdrop of repeated concerns over Pakistan-based terrorists and China's past use of technical holds on terror designation proposals. We have a report.
For years, India has been pushing for a stronger and more credible global response to terrorism, including greater accountability in the UN's sanction mechanism. New Delhi has repeatedly raised concerns over political considerations influencing decisions on terror designations. Against that backdrop, India has now made its position clear at the United Nations Security Council. Membership of the powerful body must not be used to legitimize terrorists or advance narrow political interests. Speaking at an open debate on the Council's working methods, India's chargé d'affaires at the UN, Ambassador Yojana Patel, called for greater transparency and objectivity in the listing and delisting of terrorists and terror organizations.
Security Council membership brings significant responsibilities. This must not become a platform to pursue narrow political interests. Listing and delisting are a case in point. There must be more transparency and objectivity on this front. Presence in the Security Council must not be instrumentalized to legitimize terrorists by attempting to delist them or to list other entities as terrorist organizations based solely on political considerations without any objective criteria or supporting documentation.
India's objection stems from a long-standing concern over the UN sanctions system. Under the 1267 regime, proposals to designate terrorists are examined by the Security Council's Sanctions Committee. But while approved listings are made public, reasons for rejected proposals or those placed under technical hold are often disclosed, a practice India has called a disguised veto. India has repeatedly faced such hurdles in seeking action against Pakistan-based terror operatives linked to groups including Jaish-e-Mohammed and Lashkar-e-Taiba. China, a permanent UNSC member, has previously placed technical holds on Indian-backed proposals. In 2022, Beijing blocked an India-US bid to designate Jaish-e-Mohammed leader Abdul Rauf Asgar under the 1267 regime, despite support from the other council members. The issue goes beyond individual terror designations. Earlier this year, Pakistan and China jointly sought UN sanctions against Balochistan Liberation Army and the Majid Brigade. The proposal was blocked by the United States, France and the United Kingdom and remains stalled. The episode reinforces India's broader position that UN counter-terror mechanisms must be based on evidence, objective criteria and transparency, rather than political considerations. India also raised concern over the delay in appointing chairs and vice chairs of several Security Council subsidiary bodies, including those dealing with terrorism and sanctions. 8 months into 2026, the appointments remain unresolved. Denmark, which holds the Council presidency this month, has called the delay unprecedented and said it undermines the Council's effectiveness and credibility.
There must be greater transparency in several ongoing processes of the Security Council. For instance, elected members and by implication the General Assembly must have a greater say in crucial aspects such as the election of the UN Secretary General. Another important sphere is peacekeeping. TCCs and PCCs go far beyond the UNSC membership. Therefore, as direct stakeholders, they must be part of the UNSC decision-making architecture pertaining to all key questions of peacekeeping, such as mandates and resources.
For India, the larger objective is to make the UN's counter-terror system more credible with consistent and evidence-based action against terror.
UN membership has grown fourfold since then.
New Delhi is also calling for wider reform of the Security Council. Created in 1945, the Council operates in a world that has changed significantly, with UN membership having grown fourfold since then. India says its representation and working methods must reflect today's geopolitical realities. India's position is that Security Council membership carries responsibility and must not be used to shield terrorists or obstruct credible international action. New Delhi is seeking a counter-terror framework that remains transparent, objective and consistent, irrespective of political alignments.